Now we move on to Bedlam, which
Love this.
a few weeks ago when Oklahoma was rolling and Oklahoma State had just lost to South Alabama, I would have thought, we're not even picking this game. This is a no-brainer. But now Oklahoma has come off a loss to Kansas. Oklahoma State's one of the hottest teams in the country. It is very much a fun matchup, although apparently not as much fun as when Mike Gundy played at Oklahoma State. Here is his account of what the rivalry meant back in the day.
When you mentioned last thing this work.
Yeah.
When you were a player versus where you are now as a coach, was it hard for you to not get caught up in the rivalry?
It didn't bother me because we didn't have phones and social media, but it was a rivalry then. Like, Bosworth spit in my face, I spit in his face. I mean, it was actually a rivalry, right? Like, the summer of before my sophomore year, I would go to parties in Oklahoma City and they would say, well, Bosworth and Migliozzo and some of those guys were here. And so I had to make a decision whether, were we going to have confrontation there and who was with me? Because, I'm not going to, those guys, I can kick them in the shin and run like hell, but I'm not dumb. So we had to make those decisions because, what kind of a frame of mind was Brian going to be in on that point? I don't know. Had he taken a vitamin C and had a few drinks, well, he might not be a guy you want to talk to at that point. He'd get real red and cross his face. So it was a rivalry then. Now it's not as much anymore, unfortunately, because of the way it is. But it's a very important game. I don't want to push past that.
Love that.
So the Boz has responded, by the way, Dan.
Oh, what did he say?
Said, guess what, Coach G? Bedlam is still a rivalry, and Big Brother still wants to whip Little Brother's ass.
Great. Love it. I like that he didn't get into specifics with the accusations.
A vitamin C and some drinks. Exactly. Wow. This is a pick show, and these lines are brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Staples and sign up. New customers receive $150 in bonus bets after you place a winning $5 moneyline bet. So if your team wins, you get $150 in bonus bets right now. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is no better time to join in than the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, more. Oh, yeah, you can bet the Iowa under, which we love on this show. 6-2 so far this year. FanDuel.com/Staples. You make a $5 winning moneyline bet, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/Staples. Sign up today. But I do expect this to be a nasty game. Ollie Gordon has been a revelation for the Cowboys. You ready for these stats the last few weeks? Here you go, Dan.
Sure.
Against Kansas, 29 carries for 168 yards and a TD. Against West Virginia, 29 carries for 282 and 4 TDs. And against Cincinnati, 25 carries for 271 and 2 TDs. If he is carrying the ball like that against Oklahoma, Oklahoma State is going to win this game.
Second straight game on the road for Oklahoma after losing at Kansas. And I always like to peek around what fans of a team have to say after a loss. If they say something like, we were right there, like there's still a lot to like, that we're still alive for the playoff, like we just got to move past it. If there are those fans, I'm always like, okay, I can appreciate this, and I'm not selling on this team. Oklahoma fans are in a bad way right now. Oklahoma fans are ready to be done with Jeff Lebby. Oklahoma fans are ready to say, we're looking like we did last year. Oklahoma fans are ready to get rid of this coaching staff. Oklahoma fans are angry at Dylan Gabriel for not going downfield against Kansas. I think I like Oklahoma State here, and I was somebody who was fully out on Oklahoma State before the season. The Ollie Gordon thing, there's like the Chuba Hubbard element where I think Oklahoma State has the most explosive rushing attack in America after these past few weeks from Ollie Gordon, his outbursts, and I don't know that I trust Oklahoma's defense. I think Oklahoma's a really good team. They might go 9-3, 10-2. I think Oklahoma State at home, especially with the emotion with Oklahoma leaving for the SEC, I think the environment is going to be at 11 or 12 rather than its standard 9 or 10. And the momentum Oklahoma State has, I know the defense isn't great, but they're a grower. They weren't a shower in September. They're a grower. And I always appreciate that. And the Big 12 has had that kind of like at the top. Teams improving over, like West Virginia's not going away. Oklahoma State's not going away. Even TCU showed flashes and then they went away. Like there is something about the Big 12 right now that is especially fun with some improved teams. So I like Oklahoma State here.
So I love how the Oklahoma fans, in their anger about the Kansas game, all directed toward Jeff Lebby, Dylan Gabriel, the offense. They allowed Kansas to go 80 yards in a minute.
Yes,
with the game on the line.
And Jason Bean hasn't been good late in games. And he
Be
wasn't
mad about that.
Good. Yeah. It's tough. I just don't think they necessarily have the depth right now to win, 11 games in a season. I think this is where you start to see some cracks in November, that they're just not built for it yet. I think they absolutely will be. I think Brent Venables will recruit a really deep, interesting defensive roster, but they're not there yet. And I think Oklahoma State might be. Look, Oklahoma State always loses this game, so the joke's on me. Yeah. But aside from that, I'm still going with the Pokes.
Well, I know you think I'm about to agree with you again, but I am not, because of the thing you just said.
Please, they always lose.
You talk to the sharps, the guys who do this for a living, and they're like, history matters. Numbers matter over time. And I'm like, how does that matter? These guys change rosters every 2 to 3 years. How does history mean anything? Like, you just trust me. Over time, it does. And guess what? Over time, in this rivalry, Oklahoma wins. So I'm taking the Sooners to cover.
Well, you know what happens, though, if Oklahoma State wins? If Oklahoma State wins, Brent Venables is the next coach at USC, right? Isn't that how it works? Isn't that the new tradition?
It's going to be a big secret till the very end. Yeah, at least, that was the last game of the season, so you got to do that. But
that's true.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.